Namibia, the dry land of Africa, where heat, sand, and harshness have become the identity. The cold Benguela current blows from the Atlantic Ocean, carrying dry water vapor, preventing rain from forming for months. High above, subtropical high pressure keeps the sky clear all year round. The plateau stretches, the two deserts, Namib and Kalahari, form walls, blocking moisture from the sea. No rain, no shade, only the scorching sun pours down on the cracked land, where the average rainfall is less than 100 millimeters per year. Every creature here must learn to survive, from humans, animals to this land itself. Because in Namibia, nature does not forgive the weak, and while everyone is trying to survive, a silent danger is growing in the baboon herd. They are smart, stubborn, and multiplying at a frightening rate. At first, there were just a few scattered around remote farms. Now, they have gathered in flocks of hundreds, swarming into the fields.
Get out of here! Go away! They are destroying everything!
During the day, they destroy rows of young corn, trampling entire crops in just a few hours. At night, they quietly invade barns, steal food, uproot water troughs, even attack people if they are prevented. Farmers have lost count of the number of cases. They are facing an army of wild animals, intelligent, bold, and who seem to have forgotten how to fear humans. Subscribe to the channel to understand more about the journey to preserve crops and life in the countryside. Baboons, intelligent and tenacious primates. They are no longer just creatures of the mountains. Now, they are becoming an increasingly serious threat to the lives of the people of Namibia. Dry forests, dry water, food is scarce, and when nature is no longer enough for them, the monkeys begin to leave the mountains, moving down to farms and towns. Small groups then enter herds.
Hey, stop him!
They destroy barns, steal food, rummage through trash cans. Not only that, they attack poultry, even endangered children.
You guys gotta get out of here, man. Jill, I can't get into where I am yet. This thing is fucking...
In many places, this scene is repeated day after day. Hundreds of monkeys move in an organized manner, like a trained army in the harsh nature.
Ooh, they have somebody's hair back.
Oh!
Here we go.
Oh, black baby, baby.
I'm sure that this is not.
But what makes them so bold, reckless, fearless, and getting closer to humans than ever before? It all started with ecological imbalance. As forests dried up, water disappeared, and farmland expanded endlessly, their natural habitats shrank to the point of suffocation. Nature changed, and baboons were forced to change with it. They possess superior intelligence, knowing how to open doors, knowing how to unlock cages, knowing how to time when humans leave home or fall asleep in the hot afternoon sun. They even learn to observe human habits to choose the right time to attack. The consequences are terrible. Every year, Namibian farmers suffer economic losses of up to millions of dollars from destroyed crops, lost livestock, and disrupted lives.
You guys gotta get out of here, man. What? Jill, I can't get into where I am yet.
Faced with the baboon invasion spiraling out of control, the Namibian government was forced to act. A bold decision was made. They teamed up with experienced locals to form a special hunting team. They were not professional hunters, just farmers, rangers, and people who had lived their entire lives in the arid, rocky hills. They knew every trail, every ravine, knew exactly where the baboons usually hid and where they retreated when chased. With the support of conservation forces and local authorities, the hunting team was equipped with long-range rifles, bait traps, and a nighttime surveillance drone system. The battle to protect crops and the fragile balance between humans and nature had officially begun.
Yeah, got him. Take him.
Dawn was slow. In the dry, rocky hills of Namibia, the air was cold and heavy with the smell of red dust. The hunting party emerged in the pale light of early morning. They were seasoned farmers, rifles in hand, ammunition bags slung over their shoulders, their eyes following every small movement in the mist. From a distance, a cry echoed. The baboons had appeared, heading down the cornfields, still in disarray from the previous devastation. The group immediately crouched low, using the wind to hide their body odor. Only the sound of heavy breathing could be heard from behind their headscarves. Then crack, a branch snapped underfoot. The monkeys turned their heads sharply. The screams echoed across the dry hillside, tearing apart the quiet morning of this wasteland.
Run to away. Go away.
The leader gave the signal. Ready. His finger was on the trigger. Only the wind blew through the red, dusty hillsides. Then boom. The monkeys scattered, dust flew everywhere. The sound of heavy footsteps echoed from all directions. The next bullets exploded, mingling with screams and the sound of metal bouncing off the cliffs. Some climbed onto nearby roofs, others leaped into the bushes, looking for a way to escape. The whole area was engulfed in a chaos of sound, smoke, and calls that were as intense as a raging storm. Then everything quieted down. Only the wind blew across the barren fields. No one cheered. No shouts of victory. They understood this was more than a hunt. It was the only way to protect the crops, the flocks, and the village children from the audacity of an invasive species that had gone out of control.
Good it.
The Namibian sun was high in the sky. The sun was burning hot, pouring down on the dry, cracked rocks like snakeskin. In the middle of this dry landscape, a group of hunters hid behind large boulders.
Maybe he'll sit there somewhere. Yeah, 143.
Time seemed to stop. The air was thick with heat. Then suddenly, from afar, a few scattered screams rang out. The baboons had descended. The leader gave the signal. Everyone held their breath. Fingers lightly tightened on the trigger. Boom. A loud explosion ripped through the silence. The monkeys ran away in panic, their cries echoing across the dry hillside. The leader fell down in the blazing sun, his shadow leaving a dark mark on the red soil in the middle of a bright world. In the harsh nature, who is the real invader, humans or baboons? Share your views in the comments section and subscribe to the channel now to not miss it. In Alaska, encounters between humans and bears are more than just stories to tell around the fire. They are a harsh reality where survival and fear go hand in hand. From the frozen wilderness to the edges of towns, black and grizzly bears appear as powerful, intelligent ghosts of nature, with a keen sense of smell that can detect scents from miles away. Every encounter is a test between human instinct and wild power. As food sources dwindle, the line between forest and city becomes blurred. Bears began to invade human territory, rummaging through trash cans, destroying sheds, and sometimes standing tall in the middle of backyards. These encounters not only cause property damage, but also threaten the lives of residents. Now, hunters, rangers, and the community are forced to act not only by force, but also by survival strategies between humans and wild animals. In 2010, Alaska saw 125 bear attacks on homes, the chilling numbers reflecting a terrifying reality. Most of it happens in suburban areas where the boundary between nature and humans is as thin as a wooden wall. Attracted by the smell of garbage, pet food, or leftover meat or fish, bears tear open doors, smash windows, and even crash through walls. Every noise in the night can be a warning that they're coming. Go, get out of here. The voice shouted through the night. The door was locked with his heart still pounding. Although no casualties were recorded during those years, the fear and panic had clear consequences. Extensive property damage, soaring repair costs, and sleepless nights for the community. The cost of repairing the devastated homes has skyrocketed in just 1 year, surpassing $100,000 as walls crack and foundations shake as if they are about to collapse. In those life or death moments, calmness is the most powerful weapon. One right action can save your life.
Right when he comes out, I'll run.
Remember, bears do not attack unless they feel threatened. Yelling loudly and backing away slowly not only distracts them, but also sends a signal that humans are not a threat. Keep your distance and avoid looking directly into their eyes. This is a way to respect nature and protect yourself. In that tense moment in the middle of the jungle, when the bear's roar echoes somewhere in the darkness, the most valuable weapon is not a gun but bear spray. With just one click, a pungent mist sprayed out, causing the beast to stop, its eyes blurred, its breathing erratic.
Shut up.
Are you calm enough to face a bear in the middle of the forest? Leave your comments below. It roared and retreated, and the hunter seized the moment, retreating silently amid the acrid mist and surging adrenaline. The dry numbers suddenly tell a thrilling story in the Alaskan wilderness. Once upon a time, a single encounter with a bear could end in tragedy, with 10% of encounters carrying a risk of death. Yet, strangely, between 2010 and 2015, not a single hunter was seriously injured. Have humans learned to live with fear, or is nature giving up for now? When giant shadows began looming over villages, Alaskan authorities were forced to make a bold decision. The black bear, the ruler of the deep forest, now descended on the settlement, tearing open trash cans, breaking down doors, and striking terror into the night. And then a hunt was ordered. Since 1920, hunters in Fairbanks have been allowed to take down up to 3 bears a day. The battle for survival has begun not just between man and beast, but also between reason and instinct. Before setting foot in the deep forest, each hunter must undergo a rigorous training course lasting more than 40 hours, where their mettle is tested by fire. During the training sessions, simulated roars resound. A dummy bear charges from a distance of only 30 meters. Their hearts raced and their breathing became labored, but they forced themselves to remain calm. They learned to read movements, recognize defensive postures, and most importantly, when to retreat and when to stand their ground. This is not just training, but a lesson in survival skills and responsibility to protect the safety of both people and nature. Deep in the Alaskan woods, where fog clings to every tree, hunters huddle quietly behind their scopes. They carry more than just guns, they also carry cold precision. From a distance, through modern binoculars, they followed every movement of the grizzly bear. Just a small deviation, the hunter could become the prey.
Comes out, hit him again. Right there, hit him. Hit him.
He stood there like a giant in the middle of the snowy forest. Before his eyes, the target was just a blurry shadow moving in his sight. Long-range shooting is not for the impatient. It requires cold patience, steady breathing, and steady hands. One shot, one chance. What will you do? Comment now and subscribe to the channel to discover more fascinating survival stories. Just a single bullet through the heart or lungs was enough to end things quickly. The heavy bullet whistled, carrying with it a deadly force, breaking the hundreds of meters between predator and prey.
I can't believe it. There he goes. Oh!
Nice shot, you took it down. A hoarse voice echoed through the deep forest, mingling with the echo of the bullet whistling through the cold air. But distance is more important. In the harsh world of Alaska, where every bush can hide another hunter, long-range shooting is not just a skill, it is a matter of survival.
160. Okay. Ready? Yeah. Ready?
I got it.
Why did this thing us?
It keeps the hunter away from the sudden charge of a wounded animal, ensuring both accuracy and safety in the cold wilderness. It's not just humans who are involved in this fight. In Alaska, amid the howling winds and the cold snow, fierce hounds are becoming loyal companions of hunters. With their superb sense of smell and keen instincts, they track bears through the jungle, warning them of danger before it arrives. The humans prepare, but it is the dogs that are the soul of the hunt. Fast, precise, and courageous. In the deep, cold forest, the pack of hunting dogs rushed like living arrows, their barks echoing through the mist. They were not just assistants, but the soul of the chase. They rushed like living arrows, piercing through the snowy forest, cornering the giant bear. Cold sweat ran down his back, both worried and proud. If it were just humans, this mission would have failed. Each hunting team brings 5 to 7 four-legged warriors, loyal comrades ready to face death in the wild Alaskan forest. Black bears, creatures that seem slow, but when they sense danger, they dash up trees as fast as a black gust of wind.
Where are you going, buddy? I see you.
In that moment, the whole forest seemed to hold its breath. The hunter watched from afar, his heart pounding. If the bear climbed up, it would give him a better shot from his high position, avoiding a deadly chase on the cold Alaskan ground. If you love survival stories, confrontations between humans and nature, subscribe to the channel to follow the journey of real hunters. Not every dog is brave enough to embark on a fierce bear hunt in the Alaskan jungle. Before they could go into battle, they endured 6 months of grueling training where every exercise was a test of courage and discipline. They learned to follow scent through the snow, bark loudly to signal the hunting party, and run in tight circles to surround the giant bear. A true story that sounds like it came from a legend is waiting for you to discover. Humans face the biggest lizard on the planet, Komodo dragon, on the dry, harsh islands of Indonesia. The question is no longer are they dangerous, but how to survive living next to them. Imagine you are standing on a sunburnt land, while a creature over 3 meters long, weighing nearly 90 kilograms is lurking. How will you face it? Komodo dragons, nature's apex predators, have large teeth and saliva containing toxic bacteria that can cause infection. Just one bite is enough to bring down prey, from goats, pigs to even large cattle. Farmers here know the price. Every year, Komodo dragons wreak havoc, sweeping away property and causing millions of dollars in damage. In their shadow, no animal dares to roam free. To address this issue, the Indonesian government has come up with a bold but cautious strategy of controlled hunting. This is not a hunt for pleasure, but a mission to protect the community and maintain ecological balance. On the harsh islands, each hunting license becomes a matter of survival. Issued in rare numbers by the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, only 60 to 120 per year. That number depends on environmental conditions and the presence of a monster called the Komodo dragon. Those chosen to face the Komodo dragon are not daredevils, but experienced hunters who understand the heavy responsibility on their shoulders. This was no ordinary hunt, but a battle to the death. They went in teams of 4 or 5, carrying high-powered rifles, the only weapons accurate and powerful enough to take down the beast. When the dry season from April to October comes, food sources are depleted, Komodo dragons become more aggressive than ever, approaching their prey in terrible hunger. Hunters often use goat or pork as bait, because they know that Komodo dragons' sense of smell can detect blood from more than 6 miles away. But don't mistake this for an easy game. When that giant shadow appeared, the atmosphere suddenly became heavy and suffocating. With just one swift dash, it could pounce on its prey, and a single sweep of its tail was enough to send an adult flying several meters away. The hunting team was strictly divided. One eye shooter, 2 observers with eyes like kites, the rest like lifelines, ready to spring out at a moment's notice. They aimed at the monster's weak point, one accurate shot and the story was over. Just one small mistake and everything could turn into a disaster. The Komodo dragon hunt is not a show of strength, but a test of responsibility, protecting the community, maintaining ecological balance, and bearing the consequences of every decision. Thanks to tightly controlled hunting, the picture on the island has changed. Komodo dragon attacks on humans have dropped by more than 30%, and livestock that were once their favorite prey are now protected, with losses reduced by 75%. Farmers no longer live in constant fear, can raise livestock with peace of mind. The whole community breathes a sigh of relief. And the local economy, after long years of devastation, is gradually recovering strongly. More importantly, the Komodo dragon population remains stable, ensuring that this natural icon will continue to survive. What makes this hunt so special? It was not just the resounding gunshots in the middle of a deserted island, but the blend of courage, iron, discipline, and respect for a formidable enemy. Hunters do not enter battle just to kill. They carry a mission: to face danger, protect the community, and preserve the fragile balance between humans and nature. Indonesia's iconic Komodo dragon reminds us that sometimes, in order to protect life, humans are forced to choose the most difficult path. Few people know that Indonesia has one of the strictest policies for protecting Komodo dragons in the world. Anyone who dares to hunt illegally in Komodo National Park faces 7 to 15 years in prison and a hefty fine of $10,000 to $50,000. A reckless decision can cost both your freedom and your future. All trade in Komodo dragons, from skins to bones to live individuals, is strictly prohibited under protection laws. Only scientists with special permits from the Ministry of Environment and Forestry are allowed to set foot here, and even they must work under strict supervision. Bears are omnivores with high food needs to store energy, especially in the months before winter when they're preparing for hibernation. Urban waste, with its abundance of leftover food, becomes an attractive food source for bears, particularly in the summer and early fall when natural food may be scarce. Once bears discover the easy and plentiful food supply from urban waste, they can develop a habit of frequenting these areas. This creates a vicious cycle, where bears continue to invade urban areas in search of food, leading to safety and sanitation issues. Common situations when bears invade urban areas often involve them rummaging through trash in search of food. This behavior not only disrupts daily life but also causes serious problems. When bears appear and scavenge through garbage, they can create a chaotic scene in the streets, making it difficult for residents and traffic. Rummaging through trash not only damages garbage bins but also leads to litter being scattered everywhere, resulting in urban environmental pollution. The debris can increase traffic accident risks and diminish the city's aesthetic appeal. Moreover, bear invasions into urban areas can lead to significant costs for cleanup and repairs, along with disruptions to community life. The situation goes beyond just rummaging through trash in search of food. It can be much more serious. These bears sometimes attack pets, causing terror among local residents. Aggressive bears targeting dogs, cats, or poultry are not uncommon. Urban areas with their poor fencing and unsupervised pets become easy targets for these invaders. Bear attacks not only result in significant financial damage for pet owners, but also create extreme anxiety within the community. In some areas, bear populations can become overly high, leading to conflicts with humans. Hunting can be an effective method for controlling bear populations. Professional hunters with extensive experience and skills play a crucial role in managing these situations. They are adept at identifying bear behavior and locations and can strategize to handle situations as safely as possible. With their expertise and deep understanding of wildlife, hunters can implement necessary interventions to minimize damage to residents and pets, while also protecting the urban environment. In the tense moment of facing an invading bear, shooting requires precision and decisiveness. When hunters or residents are prepared to use firearms, every action must be carried out with the utmost attention to ensure safety for both people and the bear. When aiming at a bear, things can happen very quickly. Although the firearms used in these situations are typically highly accurate and powerful, shooting a bear demands absolute precision because bears are strong animals and can become aggressive if wounded. Hunters usually use large caliber ammunition like the 30-06 Springfield or 300 Win Mag when shooting bears. These types of ammunition are preferred for their strong impact and high accuracy, which help inflict serious and swift damage to the bear. The 30-06 Springfield is notable for its penetration and long-range capabilities, while the 300 Win Mag offers superior power, ideal for handling large animals like bears. Choosing the right type of ammunition combined with precise shooting skills is crucial to ensure effectiveness and safety. If you agree that this method is effective and useful, please hit like to show your support. Bears invading urban areas don't just stop at rummaging through outdoor trash bins or wandering in public parks. The situation can become even more dangerous when they become bold and determined enough to enter human living spaces, specifically residential homes. They can easily break through physical barriers such as doors and windows, not only to search for food, but also to find temporary shelter. Inside the house, bears may rummage through everything from refrigerators to pantry shelves, leaving no edible item untouched. Their behavior often results in pulling down and scattering household items, causing severe mess and significant property damage. Bears can inflict serious damage on belongings and furnishings, from breaking appliances and overturning furniture to destroying doors and windows to gain entry. One surprising situation is when bears invade homes not only in search of food but also using swimming pools as their bathing spots. This behavior not only results in dirty pools and damage to filtration and pumping equipment, but also poses serious health risks. When bears bathe in pools, they can introduce bacteria and pathogens from the wild into the water, increasing the risk of transmitting infectious diseases to humans. Dangerous illnesses such as parasitic worms, leptospirosis caused by the leptospira bacteria, and E. coli infections can arise from exposure to contaminated water. These diseases can lead to severe symptoms like fever, diarrhea, and abdominal pain, impacting residents' health. Such invasions not only cause physical damage, but also create anxiety and stress for residents, who must deal with the potential danger posed by a large and powerful animal in their living space. Equally dangerous as wild boars, bears also pose a significant threat to the community. Bears, powerful and mysterious animals, seem to be drawn to strange scents coming from inside the house. Once inside, they move with heavy steps, knocking over everything from teapots to refrigerators, and scattering food everywhere. The chaos and danger of this situation not only made the residents feel frightened, but also gave them a sense of serious invasion into their private space. When they cannot find enough food throughout the day, they will invade residential areas in search of a food source. The bear, with its shaggy brown fur and massive body, didn't hesitate to charge straight into grocery stores and onto the streets, bringing with it a trail of terrible destruction. This wild animal didn't hesitate to use its sharp claws to destroy shelves, pulling out and spilling products. After leaving the grocery store, the bear continued its journey onto the street, where the destruction persisted. It dragged out trash bins, scattering garbage everywhere, making the streets dirty and chaotic. The bear's rampage extended to traffic areas, making traffic control difficult and dangerous. The residents, already in a state of panic, witnessed significant damage and felt helpless in the face of the uncontrollable destruction. When they feel threatened, they are ready to attack humans. These ongoing incidents have enraged people, leading them to hire skilled hunters to eliminate the bears. When faced with bear hunting situations, hunters must possess a range of essential skills and qualities to ensure safety and effectiveness. The ability to read and analyze situations is also crucial. Hunters need to understand and anticipate bear behavior to choose the right timing and method for the shot. Additionally, hunters must be proficient in using rifles, from maintenance to ammunition management, ensuring the firearm operates optimally in emergency situations. Besides rifles, archery is also a favoured method among hunters. Unlike rifles, a hunter's bow is a traditional hunting tool that requires dexterity and refined skills. Good morning. Today, the first wild boar eradication campaign of the year officially begins. This is more than just a hunt. It is a tense battle between humans and wild animals that have been spreading terror for months. With close coordination between the government and the people, each red zone invaded by wild boars will become an arena of life and death. The question is, who will emerge victorious in this dramatic opening day? Once at the rendezvous point, there was no room for hesitation. Scopes were locked, eyes strained as they scanned the darkness. Before his eyes was a herd of wild boars. Each step made the hunter's heart beat faster. The moment he fired, the sound of the gun tore through the silence. The bullet flew in a suffocating suspense. From a distance, each shot was a life or death challenge. But thanks to the bravery honed through many battles, several targets fell, leaving behind an indescribable feeling of both trembling and pride. The scope was adjusted and the barrel continued to fire. The accurate shots caused many wild boars to fall as they panicked and rushed towards the dense canopy. Suddenly, the silhouette of a bull appeared in sight, powerful and ferocious. Heart pounding, breath caught, then bang. The sound of a gunshot ripped through the air. The bullet hit its target, rolling down the hillside. Several wild boars nearby also died in the blink of an eye, but others managed to escape, leaving the hunters with a mixture of regret and pride. After the fierce clash, the ambush site was changed to avoid detection. But then a sudden sight made his heart stop. From the mist, a giant wild boar appeared, its bloodshot eyes flashing with rage. In an instant, it suddenly changed direction, charging forward at terrifying speed. There was no room for hesitation. The gunshots rang out in rapid succession, each bullet like a race against death. Only when the monster collapsed before him did the rapid breathing in his chest slow down, a mixture of fear and ultimate relief. While hiding on the mountainside, the team kept a watchful eye. Amid the dense undergrowth, the dark, sullen silhouette of a herd of giant wild boars gradually appeared. Hearts pounding, breath held, we waited patiently for the fateful moment. As the animals stepped out, the signal sounded, weapons fired in unison. Gunfire tore through the air, each bullet hurtling straight into its target. In the rain of bullets, the black wild boars fell one by one, leaving the hunter with a feeling of both shivering and elation at the breathtaking victory. Crossing the next mountain range, the scene became more tense as more wild boars appeared. On the hillside, a giant herd was slowly advancing, its silhouette clearly visible through the scope. Heart pounding, hand tightening on the trigger, then boom, the first shot rang out. Immediately, the whole team opened fire, bullets flying through the air, taking down many targets one after another. But suddenly, from the dark bushes, a giant wild boar shot out like an arrow, making the breath catch in the chest. The hunter reacted instantly, his finger tightening on the trigger at the decisive moment. The bullet hit the giant wild boar in the head, causing it to collapse instantly. But the relief was short-lived as chaos overtook him. Several more animals made haste to escape. Looking down from above the valley, the hunter's heart sank as he saw a new herd of more than a dozen animals charging like a storm. Though many had fallen, the wild animals continued to swarm, testing the resilience of the humans. Chasing them straight away will only scatter them, making them difficult to control. So the team decided to split into small groups, quietly hiding from many directions. The strategy quickly took effect. Each wild boar fell under the fire. Not a single target escaped the target. As the sun slowly set, we headed down to the fields at the foot of the hill. And at that moment, the hunter's heart stopped. Before his eyes was a huge herd, so large it was terrifying, making everyone both overwhelmed and cold. They are so huge and incredibly fast that hunters have to use vehicles to get close enough. As soon as the shadow crept into view, his finger trembled, but he still tightened the trigger. The bang resounded. The bullet flew out with a pounding heartbeat. The open terrain seemed favorable, but the wild boars scattered everywhere, turning the chase into a tense and suffocating challenge, where will and concentration were tested to the limit. Despite our best efforts, we were only able to take down a portion of the dense herd. Hunting wild boars here is not easy. After each gunshot, the animals became more cunning, hiding deep in the bushes, difficult to approach as if they knew every move of the humans. Body tired, spirit exhausted, everyone silently gathered every remaining strength. The hunters breathed evenly, their hands still shaking. Each bullet counted like an oath engraved in their hearts. But tomorrow morning they will return without mercy. There is only one ending. Do you think the wild boars are really smart enough to read the hunters? Leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel to watch the next dramatic battle. Have you ever wondered why wild boars behave so aggressively? Is it a survival instinct, a response to protect the herd, or a consequence of habitat encroachment? As forests disappear, wild boar habitats are suffocated. With their natural food sources depleted, they have no choice but to flood into the fields. Fields of corn, rice, and potatoes became their survival feast. Hungry and desperate, wild boars were forced to attack crops, leaving behind devastated lands and bitter farmers' sweat. Wild boars have an amazing reproductive capacity. A mature female can give birth to 2 litters per year, usually in spring and autumn, when food conditions are most favourable. Each litter averages 5-7 piglets, but under ideal conditions can reach 10-12. After just 6-8 months, piglets are mature and enter the next reproductive cycle. At this rate, in just a few years, an initial pair of pigs can produce a herd of hundreds, putting tremendous pressure on crops and the environment. In Texas, feral hogs are not only a nightmare for farmers, but also a huge economic burden. With a population of more than 2.6 million, they cause an estimated $230 million USD in damage each year. But the pain is not just in